5 on page 93. Non-compliance with Procurement Act. Is the procurement officer around?
Yes, the finance director is here.
Okay. The chairman, the finance director, I hope you are familiar with the Procurement Act. That is 663. And then, Mr. Chairman, and I hope you are familiar with Section 17.1. The chairman, it tells us that a tender committee shall enhance A, that every stage of procedures in this act are as followed. Exercise sound judgment in making procurement decisions. Refer to appropriate tender review board for approval. Any procurement above its threshold, taking into consideration the fact that approval about the entity committee is one stop, only approval. Mr. Chairman, the auditors noted that BPA did not have a tender committee, but yet procurement for vehicles had, were carried out. So I want you to tell us what procedure, and they also recorded that there was no competitive tendering. So under what law did you go through to, award those contracts?
Mr. Chairman, before the finance director comes in, I just want to give general information. Bui Power Authority were acting as supervisors of the project. The entire project was under an EPC contract, which meant that the funding itself never came to the authority, but rather to the contractors. And so, as and when they presented certificates for job done, it was submitted to BPA, went to Ministry of Energy, to Finance, Bank of Ghana, and then the transfer was made. And so during the project stage, I think BPA was under the full, if you like, erroneous impression that all procurement was to be done by the contractor. And at some later stage, when the contractors started receiving funding, some monies were paid to the entity at a time that there was no entity tender board. The records indicate that it was until 2015, I think in July, that the declaration was even made by the procurement. 30th April was when the application was submitted, and then if I'm mixing up the date, was somewhere in the middle of 2015 that the declaration was made for a tender committee to be formed. Subsequent to that, all the Procurement Act were respected. But prior to that, yes, we admit that there was no entity tender committee in place.
So do you agree that the law was flawed?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think there will be any argument about that, to the extent that there wasn't one.
Table 17. On the same table, table 17, page number 93. I want an update on the performance. Even though you didn't go through the right act on the what has been the performance, because we have it, and with the enjoyments I read, the total contract sum was to procure 40 pickups at a unit cost of 33,650 each. The payment made was an advance payment for initial order of 25 pickups. The payment was made on 2013. What is the performance as at date?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, because the vehicles were being procured under the circumstances as described. We needed to make advance payment. Within the year, all the vehicles paid for had been delivered, and as we speak, after I think 3 years or so, they are still on the road working. We don't have any problem with them. And I'm not sure if that fully answers your question.
Can we have evidence to support that? Because we need to really verify.
You mean?
I mean, you're giving us this by word of mouth. It is not on the sheet that you have given us in response to your query. So I'm wanting physical evidence of a form and should be given to the auditor for clearance.
Okay.
Thank
Mr. Chairman, would this mean that we need to write to the committee indicating that all the vehicles have been delivered and in operation with the numbers and all that?
Yeah.
That will be done.
Yeah.
That will be done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You do that to the auditor, they will verify it and then feed the committee with their findings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to refer the acting chief executive, who has attempted to be truthful to this committee, to paragraph 365, 366, and 370. In an earlier answer to a question on paragraph 365, he stated as a fact that the procurement, the subject matter of this audit query, was not in any way under the control of Bui Power Authority. Was not. However, if you look at paragraph 367, this is the observation of the auditor. The non-compliance of PPA Act 2003 was because, in management's opinion, procurement done during the construction phase of the Bui Dam should not be subjected to the Public Procurement Act. If you go further, 370, management responded that necessary steps are being taken to comply with the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663. So, Acting Chief Executive, I would want us to do a little bit of reconciliation. How do you reconcile these commitments made by management of the authority to the auditors when the query was raised with the answer you just provided, which seeks to explain away your own responsibility in complying with the Procurement Act?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think earlier I mentioned that management had assumed that because the entire project was running on the EPC contract, the responsibility for procurement then lay with the contractors. And so BPA made no effort even to engage the procurement authority to be registered as such. It was only in 2015 that the declaration was made to have BPA declared as an entity which must come under the Procurement Act. And therefore, I have said so, that there were some transactions prior to 2015 which were done under the circumstances which they were done. But subsequent to the formation of the entity committee, everything else has come under the law. But that's from 2015. But I guess we are looking at 2013 accounts.
Acting Chief Executive,
Yes,
this
sir.
committee would want to understand your answer. Is it your contention that you were under the assumption that because the project was ongoing, you did not have a responsibility to procure? Or that, may I finish with respect so that you get more clarity? I know the able minister is by you. Yes. This is my temporal power. When we get outside, you will disagree.
I shall not interfere with that.
So, is it also your case that soon thereafter it came to your attention that you should have actually taken over the procurement process?
Mr. Chairman, in setting the record straight, I like the members to know that when I said I was referring to BPA and not in my personal capacity. But it's also instructive to note that it was until 30th of April 2016 that under the signature of the then minister, that BPA itself was also recognized as a public entity. And so I'm saying a procurement entity. And so I'm saying that prior to that date, the assumption of BPA was that because the project itself was under EPC contract, it was the Chinese contractor who had the money, was effecting all the procurement, who had the responsibility to respond to any of these rules, if indeed they had to. But having said so, I think I brought some clarity to the issue. Thank you.
So, do I take it that the authority, BPA, was established by an act of parliament?
Yes, sir.
Prior to 2014?
Yes, 2207, really.
Yes. So it becomes inconsequential. Any so-called directive of a minister giving it that identity as a public entity. It was by the enactment as such.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think I have put myself in any position of arguing with this committee. I've merely restated the fact that there was some assumption that the contractor was the one who had the onus of that responsibility. But when the BPA attention was brought by this declaration, they now sought to make sure that all the Procurement Act was duly respected.
Okay, so Chairman, the assurance you gave under 370 and 368, as an authority, don't you think that with your earlier answer on your own assumptions regarding the contracts for the projects, the authority indicted itself by giving certain assurances under 370 vis-a-vis the concerns raised under 368?
I believe that is so. That's why the auditors queried the accounts. Otherwise, there would not have been any necessity for that.
So you wouldn't have, given the new...
I'm sure you would have also invited me here.
It is so. You would have still come anyway, but I wouldn't have asked this specific question.
Well, that is so.
You agree that the situation should have been presented differently?
Mr. Chairman. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do you have a fund manager? This is in respect of the findings on snakes. Do you have a fund manager?
We do have a treasury manager.
Fund manager?
Oh, fund manager. Yes.
Okay, who's the fund manager?
Enterprise Insurance.
Enterprise Insurance.
Yes.
When was the fund manager engaged?
When?
Yes.
I think it was December 18, 2014.
How was he engaged?
The process, I have not scrutinized the records to find out how it was engaged.
Was there an adherence to the Public Procurement Act in engaging the fund manager?
Well, the answer obviously is no, otherwise.
Answer is no.
Because I had already said that the tender committee was formed in 2016, and so previous transactions prior to that date, regrettably, did not respect the Procurement Act.
Mr. Chairman, in that regard, would you undo that agreement or arrangement with the current fund manager and go through the necessary procurement process?
That might be, Mr. Chairman, one of the options, but we will not recommend that.
Why?
I think that would be an error in judgment.
If the thing had been done without due regard to law.
Well, yeah, so we go to repair that damage rather than creating another one.
Would you invite other persons or institutions to bid for the opportunity
Mr. Chairman,
the funds of the Bui Power authority?
Mr. Chairman, it becomes necessary, but we have not so far been led to believe that that was a road that we must travel on.
Mr. Chairman, that means so if in correcting that you're going to single source the fund management of Bui Power Authority to enterprise insurance. Is that correct?
We have not said so. We said this was done prior to that date. Unless we have to take
how do you seek to undo?
Allow him to finish answering the question before you do a follow-up. Allow him to finish.
How do you seek to correct the process?
Mr. Chairman, we have already admitted that certain procurement procedures were breached. If it's the instruction of the committee that we should go back and all transactions taken prior to 2016, when the authority position is set now to act under the Act, we would like to be advised so.
I want to make reference to paragraph 360. I believe it's the same page, page 92. Mr. Chairman, my interest has to do with the 8 months during which the amount deducted in the sum of 46,592 Ghana cedis was not invested. Mr. Chairman, what that means is that the workers lost some revenue that should have accrued to them. I want to know what action has been taken to ensure that this revenue lost to the workers has been reinstated.
Chairman, thank you very much for that question. We have looked at it. I can't remember the figure, but we've worked at it and seen the amount that would have been accrued to the staff if the right thing had been done at the right time. I can't remember the figure, but I don't want to be tempted to say that was insignificant amount, but it wasn't a huge amount, and therefore we have not acted on that. But if that is an instruction, we will do that.
Mr. Chairman, so are we getting the assurance that whatever revenue that the workers may have lost as a result of the 8 month gap of not investing their contribution is taken care of? I think that is the assurance that I'm seeking to get. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, we will look at it.
When Honorable Markin, sorry, on the paragraph 368 and 370, but the emphasis on this recommendation from the Auditor General is on paragraph 369. So all along, I thought you were going to tell us how you want to comply. They are simply asking you to keep compliance. But you've spoken all along, but you're not telling us how the recommendations of the Contractor General is going to be implemented and how you intend, of course, if those things were not in place, and you are going to do it. So that's all I just want you to explain to us. I'm relying on the Auditor General report and the emphasis is placed on that particular paragraph.
My earlier response specifically addressed 2013, but subsequent to that, I thought I mentioned that, Mr. Chairman, that since the entity tender committee was formed, all effort have been made to comply. And I did say so, and I want to reassure members that this has not been the case since the committee was formed.
Yes, but can you tell us the modalities in place, what you intend to do to comply with? Simple. Honourable Minister, you can also help him if you want to speak to that. You are allowed to answer. You want to consult, please do.
Mr. Chairman, I had earlier said that the entity tender committee was formed much later after the audit query had been made. Since the formation of the tender committee, all transactions which require to go through the procurement processes have been complied with, and there hasn't been any case of breaching the law. And the assurance I give to this committee is that we will continue to be law-abiding and do what is needful. But I'm afraid if the question was to resurrect transactions which were done before or during 2013, I regret that I do not have those powers.
Not at all. Don't resurrect anything.
Okay.
I am only saying, in your capacity now, the way forward. As for the resurrection, I'm not saying we are so much interested in that. But you are here today as the Chief Director, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Wari.
Yes, sir.
This is the way forward I want to go with that. Peter. As for the resurrection, we don't want to encounter the second time of Jesus Christ for now.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to forcefully repeat that we are, since 2016, we are just in the habit of making sure that we don't breach the law. And so I do have my assurance that moving forward, everything will be done under the PPA.
Very well, Chairman.